Morning everybody, hope you're well. Right, this morning, as I promised, I'm going to get you a bit into some serious sides of restoration and that, so I thought I'd run over some stuff for like your MIGging and stuff like that. I mean, a bit about your safety and that. I mean, don't get me wrong, I mean, I probably bent every rule needs to be bent regarding welding and stuff like that, but you've got to be careful now and watch what you're doing. I mean, I've made it this far, so I've obviously winged it pretty good. So, but you don't want to be doing that. You want to keep things right. I mean, I use an Artec MIG, and it's inverter, and it's a 180. I mean, they do a 250 as well. I mean, fantastic company, Artec. They are in my eyes anyway. I've only ever had an issue. They dealt with it straight away. I speak to them down at shows, and I mean, but this to me is like one of the best MIGs you can buy. If you, well, we've all got preferences to be honest, but I just find this, it's very controllable. It does tend to like work, like fabbing work like this. I mean, settings are pretty straightforward. I can go through all that with you at a later date when I've like gone over our classes, sort of basics what I think you'd need to get you sent off. I mean, I have said, I mentioned TIGs before. I mean, I can show you how to TIG, but I don't think I'm achieving that. Only thing I think I'm doing with TIGging, as I've said before, is you're trying to teach people who want to be TIG welders to get better, and it's just something you've just got to get stuck in and get done. And I think, to be honest, your general run-at-mill guy who's going to have a go to car, if any of you are or whatever, or young ones who are coming through, you want to know more about basic stuff, what you need. I mean, obviously with your MIG, you need an helmet. I mean, this helmet is well, it's just a power weld one. They're readily available, not world's expensive. But if you notice, I've got a light on here. Now, pivots about, as you can see, and also just click it on. Now that is, when you get to my age and eyes are getting crap, you've got glasses on, well, it gives you a lot more light, it's a lot more usable, you can see a hell of a lot more. I mean, obviously this is a self-darkening mask. It's a good mask, not world's most expensive. There's loads of bigger screens. I mean, screen's smoky at the minute because it's always getting hammered, and occasionally I'll clean it and I'll sometimes put like a new worry protection in. You can grind with it. I don't tend to bother. I'll tend to grind using my safety glasses, so that's my preference. So, but you must have one of these. I mean, another important thing when you're working with your MIG and that is you want a pair of gloves. Now these gloves, I don't know, they probably cost me £3 or £4 a pair. They're not dear, power weld gloves. They're lightweight, they're easy, comfy. You can feel what you're doing. You're all right. So you obviously need lots of that. And like I said, you need your MIG. Obviously, I think it's Argon 15 out of this, what's in this. I mean, first time I've tried it, normally I'm Argon 5, but this is alright. It is alright, to be quite honest. It does tend to flow it out just a bit better. I don't have pressure massive, you know, I just let MIG duct work. I mean, I'll flick it on. I mean, MIG, they're not a noisy machine. I mean, obviously it's bankless inverter. I mean, it also sticks, does this MIG. I mean, I don't know if you can see right with camera there, but your ampage here, I mean, people mess about with it. Some lads over give me a hand down there, they're messing with it. I say, that's for your stick note to do it. You only get your ampage you're putting down is when you like actually arc up, so it'll read you your ampage. So, but to me, I'm usually around 2 on my voltage, and between 3 and 4 on my wire speed. When that's for sheet metal, that's fine. I mean, don't get me wrong, if I'm welding something a bit more heavier up, I'll obviously up it, but I only use 0.6 wire. Now, when you're doing something big, all I just do is circle up my puddle and just run round and run in. So, but I'm familiar with what I'm doing, so straightforward for me. Now, that's that. Also, when I arc up, I mean, which you ought to do if you're learning. I mean, especially with older cars, is, I mean, obviously, just cut your wire. Gives you a nice clean thing to arc up with. I mean, I'll go through doing a few bits in next video. I'm just trying to get you over run-at-mill sort of things, you know. So, I'm going to go over all these bits and pieces I've got out. I mean, I'll shut this off, like I said. This welder, I mean, it has a spool as well. I'll no doubt go through that at another stage for you. That's got alley in it a minute, but I had to swap bottle for argon, so I'll try and save a bit of time by getting stuff like that done. Now back to tools and your prep. I mean, with me, I mean, I'm mainly on air. So, I mean, I've got all the grinders. I mean, this is like a little 50mm like lightning, gets in all little tight corners, no problem for cleaning up when you've done. You know, I've cut off sorts, same, obviously, but like, I mean, I'm on an hydrovane compressor, I'm not saying it's just my preference. You know, I prefer air. You can't hear it. I mean, obviously, you're going to want a decent hammer. You're going to want a set of dollies. I mean, you're not probably going to use something like that. It's more for like getting titaniums on skins and stuff. I tend to use quite a bit of oak stuff because for a simple reason, if I'm like trying to knock something into shape, it's a bit more forgiving and it's a bit easier to dolly out. Obviously, panel hammer therefore, when you've tacked up, if you need to just relieve some shrinkage, you know, and also if it's gone a bit tight, you can just open it up again. Like I said, with all various bits and pieces. This compressor just blowing up, having a vent on the cooler. And then, like your clamps. Now, there's a million sorts of clamps you want. To what level you go to or what you do is entirely up to you. I mean, but I'm a professional when I do welding, so obviously, you know, you've got your clamp, that sort of clamps. You've just got your standard clamps. I mean, that's another one. I mean, I've got really long reach. I could get a million things out and show you. And what we've got as well, I mean, I always use Clycos as the nose. I mean, realistically, they're just a mechanical rivet. But I'll show you when I do bits and pieces what these do. But these are really, really useful for you if you're welding. Because you're not an octopus, you know, you haven't got 8 arms. So, and then down to what you're using. I mean, obviously, I mean, I tend to use 18 gauge. I mean, if I were on something like a Datsun or something like a 240Z or 260, I mean, obviously I'd be on a lesser gauge, but I'd have a lot lesser card. To be honest, I don't think I'd be teaching you about MIG, I'd be teaching you about TIG, because they're like tissue paper, there's no to weld to anyway. So, but one thing, like when you're cutting your steel and that, I mean, I use, nibblers, I use all sorts for cutting, I mean, that'll be another video I'll go over. But when you've cut an edge and they go together, just something simple, like putting a mark on like that, there's 2 hairs there, so you know what goes where and why. Now, with all my sheet steel, I caught it with this, it's Novel, it's bodywork primer. You can put this on with a roller, a couple of rolls, so, and that will last 6 months. So you've got your steel protected and you can weld through it. I would probably clean just edge because it just gives you a better eye cut, you know, you've got. But when you're inside as well and you need bits and pieces, I mean, such as something like this weld through primer is fine, but to be honest, get it overnight because it works a lot better. And another thing that is important, that obviously, get yourself a chunk of copper. Because when you're on edges, I mean, with heat at MIG, it'll just get rid of an edge in no time. You can clamp that, or even just hold it with I mean, you've got your gloves on, obviously, but I mean, sometimes I get sore near some heat, it's incredible. But I've just done it for years, and my hands are hardened to it, but I don't expect you to do it, because I expect you to watch what you're doing. If I'm telling you something, I'd make sure you are watching what you're doing. So, a bit of copper like this, you'll probably find something on eBay. Then when you're at edges, you'll see when I start showing you what's what, you'll see what this does and how it'll help you out. And it does help you out in a big way. So, you do need to find, I mean, this is just a piece of inch. I mean, that one's out and over a foot long. So, comes in dead handy. I mean, going back to your MIG, just standard earth strap. I've changed earth strap a couple of times, obviously, because they get some hammer. I mean, I've put a power weld gun on, because the Artec one it comes with, it's a lovely little petite thing, but the triggers are not of a big liver, so, you know, this does a lot better. Also, another thing that'll be worth you getting is get yourself some, tip gel. And then it'll just stop you cleaning your shrouds up all the time, and it'll keep things under control for you. But, I mean, I just wanted to go all these basic things, because I've told you I'm going to start doing some. I mean, next port of call will be, I'll clamp that up, I've got various other bits and pieces, and I'm just going to do a quick couple of welds to show you how hard start off and show you how to carry on, and then even down to once it's welded up and that, if it needs straight up, I'll put it through a wheel. I mean, to what level you're going to go to, I don't know, you might be just fabbing stuff up cars. There'll be some of that stuff shown to you. But I'm just trying to basically get you over what you're likely to need. Like I say, you're obviously going to need a grinder before you do all. You're going to need hammer, dollies, etc., as I've just gone through. Very, very important is your mask, and a mask you can use, and like you've seen, I put a light on it, it makes a massive difference. I mean, these are available. I mean, I think these come from City Electrical or something like that, or might have been Tool Station. But the self-adhesive one, that's on with a Velcro self-adhesive. And then you can get into it, you can see what you're doing, because you need to see what you're doing when you're welding. It's very critical, you know. And then you can have a nice, neat, tidy job, easy clean-up job, and everything's all right. Also, like I said, some paint on your bare steel, save corrosion like jumping in straight away. Also, you can weld through it, but on this, you need 72 hours on this one. You can roll it on, spray it on. Not a cheap primer, this one, but it does the job. But it's got shelf life 6 months, so that'll be useful for you. And then other bits and pieces, like I said, your clamps, etc., your Clycos, but you'll see it all, you'll see all that as I go along, and we'll go. I mean, it's a basic introduction to MIG welding on a restoration, but I always use MIG unless I'm forced into a corner to use TIG. And if I'm forced into a corner to use a TIG, if you don't know what you're doing welding, you're going to take a lot of years to get to that corner that I've got to go in. So, I mean, if you like what I do, give us a like. I mean, if you've got any comments regarding all like this, obviously to escalate to a lot more videos, give us a comment. And if you're going to watch future stuff and watch what I do, subscribe to my channel. So that's well, a bit of basic introduction to you to some MIG welding. So, like I say, give us a like, subscribe if you want to see some more, and I'll catch you all later. Bye for now.